it's good to meet the new big boss of the franchise.
Oh, dummy.
Let the past die.
Were you a big Star Wars fan before working on this franchise?
Yeah, I have been a Star Wars fan since I was, boy, I guess my dad put me in the car to go see the first Star Wars movie. I must have been 4 years old, so very deep roots with Star Wars.
And it is not more difficult when you are a fan to work of this kind of movie?
I don't think so. I think it's actually for me, I found it to be very important to have that, I keep describing it as like an inner compass that I could always check and see and remember how Star Wars made me feel when I was a kid, and that was always a good star to look at to point the way. I knew I was doing something right if it felt right to 10-year-old Ryan.
According to you, what are the most important elements to write a good Star Wars story?
Well, for this one specifically, it was about challenging these characters. For me, I loved all the characters that were introduced in The Force Awakens. And this is the middle chapter, so this is where we kind of put them in the meat grinder and really see what they're made out of. And hopefully learn more about them by the end of this film so that you'll care about them and see where they end up in the next chapter. So for me, that was the essential thing. That and figuring out what's happening with Luke Skywalker. That was the big question with this movie.
It does now. Let the past die. Kill it.
Yeah.
People have talked a lot about the last trailer of The Last Jedi, saying it might spoil the movie too much.
Yeah.
As a director, do you have a saying on those trailers?
I do, yeah. We work very well with the folks at Disney who cut the trailers, and they're wonderful, talented people who are very collaborative. And they're very good at what they do. I do think it would be wonderful if everyone saw nothing and went into the movie totally clean. That would be ideal, but that's not going to happen. And also, I love trailers. I'm a trailer addict. I watch every trailer. So to me, the goal of a trailer is to make you think you're getting everything when in actuality you're not. And I think our trailers do a very good job of that. It feels like we're giving a lot away. In reality, there's a lot of surprises that are still in store for the audience in the movie.
If you could see one of your favorite movie as if was the first time, which one would it be?
It's a good question. I would be fascinated actually to see the first Star Wars for the first time, because it's so, especially now, because as I've now had this experience working with Mark and with Carrie, I'm so close to it right now. The idea of being able to see it totally fresh and what would I think of it, I can't even imagine. So that would maybe be the most interesting movie right now.
So a New Hope.
A New Hope, yeah.
Don't worry.
We just learned that you will helm a new Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to fans who think it might be one trilogy too many?
I mean, I think that for me, it's funny. I've seen some people say that, and it didn't make sense to me at first, because for me, I guess the idea behind that is that Star Wars is special because it's rare, and it's this thing we remember and are nostalgic about, and it's this special thing, and if you start doing more of it, it becomes less special. I think the only thing that is interesting is a story. And when you sit down and you hear a new story, and it gets your blood pumping, and you get emotionally invested, and you're leaning forward in your chair, and you're caring about the characters, that's the only thing that really matters. And if we're relying on our nostalgia of Star Wars or some big idea of this rare thing from our past as what brings us to the theater, that's going to get boring. That's going to get uninteresting. Good. That's fine. But as long as we keep telling new, interesting stories and keep creating new characters we care about, That's all that really matters, and that's what we need to do going forward with it. I don't know, we've been telling stories forever. We'll keep telling stories forever. It won't get boring as long as the stories aren't boring.
It's time for the Jedi to end.